Herzlich willkommen. Freut mich, dass ihr Zeit gefunden habt. Freut mich besonders, dass Johannes und Markus uns zur Verfügung stehen. 2 Tage vor unserem ersten Bundesliga-Heimspiel des Jahres 2026 gegen Hartberg. Samstag 17 Uhr. Ich werde das Wort gleich übergeben. Ich habe eine kleine erfreuliche Meldung, die vielleicht zum Tage passt. Ist aber tatsächlich ein Zufall. Mit Turkish Airlines dürfen wir einen neuen Partner in der Rapid-Sponsorenfamilie begrüßen. Haben uns schon mal Glück gebracht, zweimal. In den letzten 2 Auswärtsspielen in Istanbul und Trabzon sind wir mit dieser Linie geflogen, beide gewonnen. Also ich hoffe mal stark und ich hoffe die beiden auch, dass wir möglichst bald wieder die Möglichkeit haben, so zu reisen und zu gewinnen. Und Pressetext folgt dann, aber wie gesagt, eine Partnerschaft, die ab sofort startet, ist jetzt aber nicht am Trikot zu sehen, aber sehr präsent dann rund um die Spiele, Bandenwerbung, Cam Carpet und Co. Markus, darf ich dich bitten, weil es ganz gut passt, ich gebe dir dieses wunderschöne Flugzeug, das passt zu dir besser.
Nein.
War's ja nicht. Aber wir durften ja heute vermelden, einen Neuzugang ist das falsche Wort, einen Heimkehrer, Rückkehrer. Ich gehe davon aus, er ist genau mit der Linie geflogen aus Istanbul mit dem Yusuf Demir. Wenn ich dich bitten darf, ein paar Sätze ergänzen zu unserer heutigen Presseaussendung. Warum, wieso, was darf man sich erwarten? Yusuf Demir und Furkan Demir, also wieder mal ein Brüderpaar in Grünweiß.
Ja, schön, dass wir gleich mit unserem neuen Partner Turkish Airlines einen Transfer machen können, der zwar wieder ein Österreicher einfach mit türkischen Wurzeln, das aus der Türkei ist natürlich mit Turkish Airlines dann auch von Istanbul nach Wien gereist gestern. Sind wir froh, dass wir den Transfer jetzt abschließen haben können. Es waren die letzten Wochen letzten Tage schon intensive Gespräche, jetzt insgesamt dann schon viele Dinge zu klären, auch mit Galatasaray. Jetzt freuen wir uns, dass wir Yusuf bis 2027 unterschreiben haben können mit einer Option auf eine weitere Saison. Ja, es ist natürlich auch speziell, wenn man mit dem Bruder zusammenspielen kann. Ich glaube, das ist jetzt nicht allzu täglich, dass man die Möglichkeit auch hat. Es war so, dass wir auch in den Gesprächen einfach gespürt haben, dass der Yusuf unbedingt wieder zu Rapid will. Er hat den Verein nie aus dem Herzen verloren, ist da groß geworden und ist einfach ein Grün-Weißer durch und durch, wo ich auch glaube, dass er mit seiner Qualität, gerade was in der Offensive betrifft, uns einfach einen Impact geben kann, den die Mannschaft oder jede Mannschaft einfach auch braucht und benötigt, um Tore zu machen oder aufzulegen. Es ist so, dass wir schon ihm die Zeit geben werden. Wir müssen natürlich schauen, jetzt auch in den nächsten Tagen und in den nächsten Trainingseinheiten, in den nächsten Wochen, wie auch sein Fitnesszustand ist. Das schließt nicht aus, dass er sofort spielberechtigt ist und natürlich uns auch sofort zur Verfügung steht.
Danke, Mirke. Bevor ich zum Johannes komme, noch zweite Nachfrage unter Anführungszeichen. Verstärkungen, Stichwort. Es gibt auch eine Verstärkung für Johannes und seinen Betreuerstaff, was du, glaube ich, schon vor Monaten angekündigt hast, dass es eine Position geben wird, die jetzt besetzt wurde.
Ja, wir haben mit dem Isiako Drogo einen Integrationsmanager ins Trainerteam dazu genommen, der sich einfach kümmert um alle Spieler, die aus dem Ausland zu uns stoßen, einfach schaut, dass sie sich so schnell wie möglich wohlfühlen, dass man sie so schnell wie möglich auch in die Mannschaft integrieren kann. Wir haben schon länger über diese Position gesprochen, waren auch der Versuche nach der richtigen Version und ich glaube, dass der Sacco mit seinen Wurzeln auch aus dem afrikanischen Raum ist geboren und aufgewachsen in Burkina Faso, war, glaube ich, der erste Spieler, der damals dann zu Salzburg gewechselt ist, hat dann einfach sein ganzes Fußballerleben dann auch in Österreich verbracht, ist mittlerweile auch Österreicher, hat die österreichische Staatsbürgerschaft und eine Person gefunden, die einfach charakterlich und auch mit dem Anforderungsprofil einfach perfekt zu der Position passt.
Also, vielen Dank. Fragen wir jetzt, gehe ich davon aus, dann ohnehin geben. Johannes, am liebsten würde ich Deutsch sprechen, weil ich weiß, du verstehst alles, but I continue in English. Yeah, maybe also from you 1 or 2 words to the new player, for you really new player, Yusuf Demir, and of course, most important, what's going on? What do you think about the next game on Saturday against Hartberg?
Yeah, I'll start with Yusuf. He's been on our radar for quite a while, and we were in contact with him to see if there was an opportunity to get him in. I think there's two sides of the story with him. I think we should always be a club where we're there to support former players, whether that's for them to take another step in their career where we can help them with that. I think we should always be ready and able to do that. And then I think next thing is, of course, obviously that we think that his qualities is a great fit for the squad right now, and they give us probably more solutions up front, both on the offensive midfield. He can potentially also play a little bit to the side. So for us, we think it was a very good deal, and also on just the human side, it's fantastic to have him back. And yeah, you mentioned the two brothers now in the squad. Is not often you see that, so it's also first time I have to coach two brothers, and it will be fantastic to see both of them on the pitch, obviously. I'm not sure it's going to be Saturday against Hartberg, because we still need to find out fitness level, where is he exactly. He will join the training for the first time tomorrow. He had an individual session today, and then we're going to find out where he is exactly. So for the game on Saturday, we've really spent last couple of days here to make sure that we get the team selection right, that we find out where we can punish Hartberg. So we have really also analyzed possibilities for us in that game to see where we can hurt them. And when we have made that game plan to see exactly where it is we can hurt them, we started after to find out which players we should pick for the exact game plan. And that's what we have done the last couple of days, and we'll do it again tomorrow. Because obviously it's an important game. It's the first home game of the rest of the season now for the team and for coaching staff and for the club. So it's important that we get off to a good start. So I think we are far with our preparations, but we need the last day tomorrow to make sure that we have covered more or less everything. So we're looking forward to it.
Vielen herzlichen Dank, auch wenn der echte Chef, Statistiker und Historiker in der ersten Reihe sitzt, Horst. Vielleicht ein Hinweis, Rapid-Archiv.at kennt jeder, unser offizielles Vereinsarchiv. Gerald Bichler hat mir geholfen, am besten hinklicken, neu gestaltet. Brüderpaare sind wirklich selten, also außer in der Urzeit. Es war jetzt in der Zeit, sage ich mal, der Zweiten Republik, nach den Gebrüdern Körner in den 50er Jahren, Pawlek und Kinas in den 70er Jahren und jetzt ganz kurz 3 Spiele, Niki und Tobias Hedl, erst das 5. Mal, wenn es soweit wird und beide gemeinsam spielen. Dann darf ich euch ganz herzlich bitten um eure Fragen an Johannes oder Markus. Bitte Christian Reichel für die Kronenzeitung, und das Mikrofon kommt.
Mecki, jetzt so kurz vorm Ende der Transferzeit, wie ist der Status quo zum Beispiel beim Herrn Weimann, der auch gehandelt wird als potenzieller Neuzugang?
Ja, es ist so, dass der Andreas Weimann in Wien ist für den Medizincheck. Wir haben die letzten Tage gute Gespräche gehabt, warten jetzt noch auf die letzten Informationen, was den Medizincheck betrifft, und hoffen, dass wir das dann heute im Laufe des Nachmittags oder Abend dann noch positiv bekannt geben können. Fehlen jetzt nur mehr Kleinigkeiten, dann sollte das auch passen. Ansonsten ist es so, dass wir keinen weiteren Transfer mehr geplant haben und mit den 2 Transfers auch unser Transferfenster im Winter abschließen.
Das heißt, es sind auch jetzt Stand heute keine weiteren Abgänge mehr vorgesehen? Ja,
es ist schon noch das Fenster offen in den einen oder anderen Land. Also das muss man natürlich abwarten. Ich habe es immer gesagt, es gibt natürlich Situationen von Spielern, die einfach weniger Spielzeit hatten, wo man dann vielleicht schon noch eine Möglichkeit anstrebt, wenn sich auch eine ergibt.
Coach, last week you had some players which were injured, which couldn't play. What about, for example, Jannes Horn? Will he be fit for Saturday?
We test him tomorrow to find out if he's available for some minutes. So he's one of them where there's a question mark. Who's the other ones? Do we have other ones? Peter Nossadal maybe, but he's still a couple of weeks from now. That's not realistic on Saturday.
Bitte sehr. Wer mag, wer will. Wer hat noch nicht? Peter, bitte sehr.
think you know Andreas Weimann from England. What can Spiel help from him? He's no number 9. He's a player for the wings.
I think there's two things with him, with Weimann. I think he can play number 9 position. I think he can play the number 10 position. He gives us different options up front. And then the next thing, which I think is probably even more important, is that when I've been around the squad for 3-4 weeks, and I think what we need is probably a little bit more personality in the group, a little bit more. I will not necessarily say leadership, because leadership can come from many places and many positions and many players. But I will say experience in the game, and he can bring that. I know him very well from my last season in Championship. He unfortunately scored against my team and away against Blackburn in minute 94. So I've not forgiven him for that yet. I spoke to him the other day about also his ambition to come back and what he can bring to the group. And he's a person where he takes a lot of responsibility. So that's really something we need, I think, in the group. So in both ways, because he can cover more positions up front, it's important, but also the experience, leadership, personality thing that is important with him.
Also wir haben jetzt Agreement bis im Sommer, ja. Mit ihm, ja. Und mit Derby.
Wie gesagt, nochmal Betonung, natürlich erst dann, offiziell, wenn alles unterschrieben ist, aber ich glaube, beide Herren sind nicht so unrecht optimistisch, dass es am Laufe des Tages klappt. Bitte, Martin, Frage an uns oder an Peter? Eine Information. Bitte, Alex.
So, question about Weimann.
Yeah.
I was searching for his whole career because he played a lot of positions, and it was 160 times on the right side, 120 times as a number 9, 85 times as a number 10, and 75 times on the left side. So it's a lot of experience on 4 positions. What do you think is the best for him and the best for him with this team?
That's a good question. I think when I know him from not having coached him yet, I think his best position is when he's just next to a striker or just behind a striker, when he can run into the box. I know that he's covered a lot of positions up front because I also played against him when he was more like an attacker or 9. Where he will fit best the system, we have to find out in training and see where we think he can benefit the team most. It's about efficiency. We have to find the best position for him. If that's the 9, then it's a 9. If it's just behind the striker, then it's behind. If it's coming from the left, then it's from the left. The good thing is that with that experience, it opens up for him to play a lot of minutes for us, because we can use him in different positions. But it also depends a little bit of who of the others we have available. So we have different types on the pitch and stuff like that.
And maybe you know Yusuf Demir not as well as Andy Weimann, but I'm sure you saw him and you heard of him as a very talented player back in the days. What do you think about his position? Because in Barcelona there was a similar system to yours.
Yeah.
He played on the right side.
Yeah.
And back for Rapid it was a 4-2-3-1, and he was a clear number 10. But I think it was a different style of playing than your style. Yeah,
and I think that's you gave yourself the answer because that's the fact that, you know, one thing is the positions when we talk about it like numbers. The most important thing is what actually happens when we play. What kind of spaces is that we want players in? What kind of movements is it we want? He can, in the way we play, he can easily come from the right side to move in. If we have a right back or another player on the outside of him, I think that will make sense. He can also play the 10 position, which Gulik have covered the last couple of games. So again, also more options with him. He's a different case than, I know we still have to finalize with Weimann and everything, because he's probably a case where we have to be a little bit more patient with his past taken into consideration, and we need to get him up to speed, and we also need to give him the time for him to develop and get back into shape before we start put too much pressure on him. But yeah, the two positions you just mentioned, I think we can see him in both and can expect to see him in both.
Bitte, Martin.
Coach?
Yes.
What do you change for Saturday? I mean, normally you wanted to dominate the game, to create chances. Not many of them we saw last Saturday. To be honest, you probably as well. What do you change after this first game? Do you see any necessity to change 2 or 3 positions, 2 or 3 players, or only do you think it's a system of hope for Saturday because it's the second game and you need to go your way?
Yeah. Every game is different, and Ried is different to Hartberg. So what we have done is to analyze Ried and see where we needed some quality, and I think there was opportunities for us on the ball where we didn't take them. We were not good enough on the ball, and we should have been much better and have much higher expectations to the players and to the group and to us. We can do so much better, which I also said after the game. I also still need to be quite calm around the group, because it is a group where we need to be a little bit careful about how much we can push them, because they come from these 6 months that's been up and down, but probably more down than up. So we have to be careful of that also. So I will bring new energy, I will bring new solutions to the game. And for Hartberg, I think it's a different team. They defend a little bit lower than Ried does. So it's some other openings we need. There will be changes in the team. I cannot tell you here now. But we have worked on some openings, how to create chances, what it is exactly we need. And again, when we know what we need, we find the player that suits that best. So will there be changes? Yes, there will, because it's another team, it's another game plan, and it's another game for us. But of course, like I also said after the game, we have so much higher expectations than what we did in Ried, and yeah, we're just hoping for it to be sooner than later.
And probably not Yusuf Demir, but
no.
Andy Weimann should be in the rhythm to play, or also probably coming from the bench, or probably not from the kickoff, but it must, if he really signs before Saturday, but he should be fit enough to play.
He comes from the championship where they've played over Christmas and New Year, so he's played minutes in more or less all of the games. So he is fit. I spoke to him the other day, and he is fit, and he's been in every training session more or less since they started the season. So there should be no reasons not to bring him in, because he is a type of player that we need also just around the group for the game day preparation and everything, you know, leading some of the younger players especially. So yeah, I will see him later on today, hopefully, when everything hopefully goes well. And then we put him on the grass with the rest of the group tomorrow, and then we take a decision after that.
Dankeschön. Erik, ich sehe dich. Erik Niederseher, bitte.
Question for the coach. It seemed after the early conceded goal against Ried, the team fell into some old patterns, which is obvious after 10 games without the win. How do you see the mental stability of the squad, and how are you working on that?
Yeah, it also, to be honest, it also surprised me a little bit, because if you always try to see the opportunities when you face some things that is difficult. And if you flip it around and say, okay, when is the best team for you to concede in a football game? It's probably minute 1 or 2, because then you have most minutes to score some goals. But of course, I also have to make the players see it like that. And I could see that the 25 minutes after the goal, we were shaky. We were not as solid as we have been in some of the test games. So we had an analysis with the whole squad on Sunday morning, the day after the game, and I sat also with the captains, so 5 players where there's a little bit more responsibility to them, and discussed, okay, what is it we can do if it happens again in another game we play, because we will concede goals, but we cannot react like that when we concede goals. We have to believe that we can go up and score the next one, and we have to keep on going with our game. And we discussed a lot of things, and I think also protect the players a little bit. I cannot give you anything about that, but we discussed and we had a good conversation Sunday morning with a cup of coffee, and we went through a lot of different things. And they are aware that there's probably even more pressure on the group now because of the recent results and the last 6 months. But it's also, I know also you guys, you will be critical when the guys are not performing. But it's also my job to make sure that the players they try to be as calm as possible and don't really take all that criticism in. We just have to do our job and try to do it the best possible way. And I have to give them some answers, solutions, but also I have to show them some trust. And that's I think it's important for the group where we are right now. But again, we have had another good week out here on the grass where I've seen so much quality. So the biggest step, most important step, but probably also the hardest step, is to take that quality and bring it into the games.
Dankeschön. Any further questions? Erst bitte.
Coach, it might take some time until I'm finished with my question.
Okay, I lean back.
We saw the approach in the game that you want to build up from the back. This is an approach that many of your colleagues gave up on playing because we are in a league with little football. A lot of pressing, gegenpressing, second balls. One of your colleagues even characterized it as a run and gun league. What makes you sure?
Who was this?
Philip Semlic.
Run and gun league.
What makes you sure that you have enough time to implement your style of a game to still reach the top 6 in 5 rounds, and to make it to Europe at the end of the season?
Yeah, but time is a funny thing in football because you have time and then you don't have time. We have to make a team that is competitive enough, and I think we have to find the balance because it's not only about playing out from goal kicks or playing short passes. It's also to go in behind every time there's a possibility to do it. But we play a game where we try to avoid too many duels. Because if I look at my players, it's probably not a team that is well fitted for that. We have a lot of players that are better when they can move and when they can turn and when they can pass instead of too many big players. I know we have some center backs with some height, but if you look at our front line as well, and also some of our midfielders, they are made for a game where we can play and we can do passes and we can do it fast. So I think we have seen both training but also the last test game what this team can do when we are in the rhythm, when we are in the flow, and then we saw against Ried what are the challenges for us when we cannot do it. So it's about for us to find that right balance, because if we just make it into a game where it's duels and second balls, then we will probably lose, because some of the other teams, they are really fit for that. They're really made for that. So if we're going to fight the game on their half, I think we will lose it. So we have to bring the game into our half and say, okay, we compete with our strength instead of our weaknesses. And that's what we have to do. But again, always finding the balance. What I liked about the last test game we played was that balance was so good. Every time there was a little space in behind, we went behind them. Every time they gave us space in front of them, we played in front of them. So that balance was really good. We didn't get that balance right in Ried, so that's something we have trained specifically on. And then I don't believe that this league is so different. I come from the championship, my friend. There's a lot of direct play. but to be completely honest, the teams I saw in the championship that are the best are the ones that can play, because they take out all the random stuff of the games and make it their game. If you watch a Coventry team at the moment, if you watch a Middlesbrough team at the moment in the championship, if you watch the Ipswich team that went up, who's more, I'm probably forgetting someone. If you watch the Leicester team with Maresca that went up, they took the game and made it to their strengths instead of the opposite. And they made it in that league. And when you can make it there, I definitely also think you can make it here in Austria. But of course, it takes time. And no one knows about time when you're in football. So I have to find the balance. And probably the biggest and most important thing for Saturday is to get that balance right.
coming back to time, do you have the backing of Markus and the board of the club that if you're not getting into the top 6, that you have to, maybe not to Europe, that you still have the time to build on your style of play?
But you know, it's a question that I think no one in football can answer. I think Meki was smiling this morning when I came in, and then that's probably the best answer I can give you. And he's still smiling today. Whether he will be smiling tomorrow, I don't know. But I can really not pay too much attention to that. And I think it's the same in every job you have. If you're in football, if you're a journalist, you don't know. You can never know what your boss is thinking right now, in this second. And for that, it's not that important for me. I just do my job and I do it as good as I can. If we don't make it to the top 6, then I expect that we sit down and talk about, okay, what do we do then? Because again, my mindset has always been that when you face difficulties, there's opportunities. But if you sit back and feel sorry for yourself, then there's no opportunities. But if you flip it around and take the opportunities, then you can also have the chance to build something that can be even stronger for next season. I'm not saying we should aim for not being in top 6, but now you ask me the question. Hopefully we are in top 6. And when we are there, then we have to build something that can be competitive now, but also still for the future. We have to have that in mind because we have tried so many times. And the recent seasons and past seasons in this club where there's been so much here now, only about winning. But it's not enough just to talk about that we need to win. We have to build something that can really be a foundation to win. And sustainable can be a winning team and a winning club. That's not something we do overnight. But yeah, I hope he's still smiling.
Ja, also vielleicht kann ich auch dazu was sagen. Wir haben uns ja für einen Weg entschieden. Wir haben auch gewusst, dass das jetzt nicht so einfach ist. Ich meine, der Johannes hat jetzt 3 Wochen Vorbereitung gehabt, auch um die Mannschaft kennenzulernen, um einfach gewisse Abläufe reinzubringen. Man hat auch nie wissen können, okay, was hat der Herbst auch für einen Impact in der Mannschaft dann noch hinterlassen, wenn man dann trotzdem 2 Wochen Urlaub macht. Ja, Fakt ist trotzdem, dass wir jetzt beim ersten Spiel, wo wir auch gewusst haben, dass es ein ganz schwieriges ist, weil es ein K.O.-Spiel ist, weil Ried in das Spiel reingegangen ist und auch gefühlt mit dieser Energie nichts verlieren zu können und dann einfach auch einen perfekten Start gehabt hat. Und so, wie wir es auch schon besprochen haben, hat man dann gemerkt, dass das dann schon was mit der Mannschaft auch gemacht hat. Ja. Aber wir haben uns jetzt für einen Weg entschieden, den wir jetzt nicht so schnell verlassen werden. Klar ist auch, dass wir uns jetzt nicht über Themen unterhalten nach dem ersten Spiel, okay, was passiert, wenn wir unterm Strich sind. Ja, sondern wir sind schon so optimistisch und haben den Glauben und auch den Willen, dass wir das erreichen, dass wir oben drin sind. Und dann glaube ich auch, dass einfach noch viel möglich ist in der Saison. Mit der Tabelle kennt jeder, da wird ganz viel geredet drüber. Und an das glaube ich ganz stark. Was der Mannschaft auf jeden Fall fehlt, ist Medizin. Und die beste Medizin ist, wenn man gewinnt. Und wenn wir am Wochenende einen Sieg einfahren, dann glaube ich, kann das dann ganz schnell in eine andere Richtung gehen. Jeder, der sich mit Fußball beschäftigt, weiß, dass es Energie gibt, die man ab und zu dann ganz schwer beeinflussen kann. Und dass es Mechanismen gibt, die man ab und zu ganz schwer beeinflussen kann. Und wir versuchen halt tagtäglich, unser Trainerteam versucht halt tagtäglich der Mannschaft einfach Lösungen zu geben, Energie zu geben, um einfach rauszukommen. Aber so wie ich es gesagt habe, ich glaube einfach wichtig ist, dass man einfach mal den Bock umstoßt und eine Partie gewinnt. Dann glaube ich, kann das schnell auch in eine ganz andere Richtung gehen.
Dankeschön. Bitte, Alex.
Coach, we don't know you so in detail that we know what you can. What do you think about the statistics? Do you know that Hartberg is the fearsome opponent in the history? Because in Hütteldorf it's the only club who has more wins than losses. Is some statistic details, is this for your match preparation important, or do you think, okay, that's pastime, I don't care?
I heard about it yesterday because some guy mentioned it to me. That was the first time I heard it. I think the most important for me has to been to do like we always do. We analyze Hartberg. We watched a lot of games for them, and then we watched the last probably 4 or 5 games that we have played against them. So we have a good understanding of who they are as a team, and then for us to find the right game model to make sure that we can win on Saturday. Like you said, when we are with the team that we are right now, there's no easy games. It will not be easy on Saturday. It will not be easy the week after. It will not be easy the week after again. So what we can do is just to make sure that the preparation is as clear as possible. The players know exactly what to do. And then obviously hope for some quality and the right decisions on game day. So they have a good statistics, and at some point you have to break those statistics.
The specialty of Hartberg are the counter-attacks.
Yeah.
You have with SB, Royao, the fastest defender in the league. Is this enough, or is it about not to lose the ball?
Yeah, listen, my friend, I like you, and I like your questions, because it's football questions. I just have to be a little bit careful of how many answers I give you. So I gave you an invitation. I gave you an invitation last time, and it's still there. You're more than welcome also to come and watch some training sessions once in a while, and we can discuss more in details. But it is obviously something we have to take care of, and something that we have highlighted, because they have some good strikers, and I would say one of them also have quality for higher level than the Austrian league, and will probably also go to higher level. And it's a big strength of them. So it's I can guarantee it's something we have trained, we have highlighted, and we have prepared it. How we have prepared it, I unfortunately cannot say too much about.
Bitte, Erik.
Johannes, one more question about the player view, Martin NC. He seems to have improved a lot in comparison to autumn. How fast do you think he can be the anchor six that you need for your style of play, and which impressions do you get?
Yeah, I think he have all the qualities that we need as a six, or holding midfielder, or defensive midfielder, what we call him. Physically, he's almost impossible to take the ball from when he's protecting it. Where we still need to improve him is his running capacity, so he can do more in the games, and he can do more high-speed running, especially in the games. But when the ball is close to him, and he can fight for it to win it, or he can protect it to make some good passes and progress the game, I think he's been doing well. And I think he played a good game in Ried, but we also spoke with him, and I spoke with him and highlighted where I need him to be better and where we need to improve him. So that we're doing, but I'm impressed that he was already in Ried able to play, what was it, 70 minutes or something like that, 75 minutes.
More, yeah.
Was it more? 85?
85, yeah.
Yeah, good.
I think 86, but...
Which is, probably a little bit more than expected. So I'm impressed with him, and I'll not put too much pressure on him, but I expect that he will only be even better.
Wunderbar. Ich glaube, alles soweit ausreichend beantwortet. Danke Johannes, danke Markus, danke für euer Interesse. Wir haben dann am Samstag 15:30 Uhr Stadionöffnung, auch der Medienbereich. Wer noch nicht Akkreditierungsgeschichte geschickt hat, bitte nachholen, und wir sehen uns dann an dieser Stelle wieder vor dem Wiener Derby. Genauer Termin folgt noch.